station, and we're broadcasting live from our audio-visual studios right here in Victoria Island, Lagos. But yes, you can listen to us from anywhere in the world. All you need to do is download the Nigeria Info FM mobile application, or better still, you can go watch or listen to all our shows on our Nigeria Info website. It's nigeriainfo.fm, or live on YouTube, Nigeria Info FM, on Facebook, Nigeria Info FM. This will be your most authentic experience, and as always, we serve to you hot on a platter. My name is Maryann-Duke Okon. Welcome to the show, Lagos. On the big story today, to be talking about unbundling INEC. But before that, something very remarkable happened yesterday while Mr. President was going to present the budget. Don't forget, the budget was presented yesterday, and he has insisted on a January to December cycle as opposed to we used to have before now. And that's been played around with over time. Government come and government go, and then they decide how they want the cycle of the budget to run. But now he's saying January to December. Let's hope they will stick to that. But then something did catch my attention. I'm sure it did catch yours. Maybe it didn't. Maybe it slipped past you. But let's take a listen and then we'll talk. This happened on the floor of the Senate.
Thank you very much.
And those were your senators, Lagos. Yes, Nigeria, these were senators singing on your mandate we shall stand to Mr. President. Are we still campaigning? I'm just curious. My name is Maryann-Duke Okon. Hard facts. Well, today we're going to be talking about unbundling INEC. I just wanted to whet your appetite with that because we might just talk about that some other day, but then that's what's trending on social media. Senators singing about the president's mandate. And I was thinking to myself, oh, okay. We have the NPP on the floor of the National Assembly. Do we have the PDP on the floor of the National Assembly? Do we have the Labour Party on the floor of the National Assembly? And, of course, the APC. And who are these people representing? Mr. President? Or you and I? I'll let you answer that. My guest is joining us via Zoom this afternoon as we talk about unbundling INEC today. Yes, it's very important. My guest is a very, very intelligent policy analyst. He is a public policy expert. He's a media and strategic communication consultant. He's into forensic and social psychology. He's also an author. Law Mefor is joining us via Zoom this afternoon on Hard Facts. And we're going to be talking about something that's been running through our minds. Of course, a lot of people have also voiced it out, including former INEC chairman, Professor Attahiru Jega, who's asked that INEC be unbundled. Shall I tell you why he put this out? Well, I'll give you some background to it. Attahiru Jega, who is a former INEC chairman, had urged the National Assembly to unbundle an independent national electoral commission to make it more effective. A call last week in Abuja at a citizens' town hall on electoral reforms organized by Yaga Africa, the European Union, in collaboration with the National Assembly Joint Committees on Electoral Matters. Jega has also said that if Nigeria's electoral process must be improved, the issue of cross-carpeting by politicians must be prescribed. Do you agree? He also goes on to say that though there has been a level of transformation in INEC, the commission needs to be unbundled. He said from 2011 to 2022, a lot of efforts have been made to reform the electoral process. A few months after a new government has been sworn in, electoral reforms start. Now, the 2022 electoral reforms are the best in recent times, but there is room, he says, for improvement. My guest is here, Dr. Law Mefor. Thank you so much for joining us. Good afternoon, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for hosting me.
Yes.
Good afternoon, Nigeria.
I do know that you've had a very busy, I had to drag you off of that you're doing, but then
It's okay.
Thank you for being here. Let's start by
Thank you.
looking at the formation of INEC and who appoints the man who sits at the helm of what we call an independent electoral body, which is supposedly an umpire for every election that we go to in this country. Let's start with that. A lot of people have criticized the fact that a president's pick should be nominating whoever sits on that seat, they're saying those powers should rest on the National Assembly. But my question is, who's to say that the National Assembly cannot be influenced after what I played?
It's a complex situation, very sad indeed. And INEC hasn't shown any commitment to assuming its statutory responsibility as an independent body. The word independent attached to the name is not for fun. The name is independent, National Electoral Commission. The idea of the word independent is to confer on the commission all the powers it needs to really conduct a free and fair election that can compare to any election you can find in civilized societies. But in practice, this has not been the case. We have seen INEC descend into the arena, and much like a referee in a football match, joining a side to play the match, we have seen INEC officials play very partisan roles. We saw that in these concluded general elections in 2023. We saw it in the off-season elections. We saw it in Kogi, where INEC officials uploaded results by way of uploading from EC8A, even before elections commenced in many places in Kogi, which means that officials of INEC deliberately, willfully wrote results in favor of whoever. It happened in Imo, many places where elections never took place in Imo. Yaga Africa, implicated, telling us that there are places they investigated and elections actually didn't take place in those places, and yet results were uploaded. The question is uploaded by who? From EC8A is perhaps the most sensitive election material, because that is where you record all the results that are generated at the polling units. And if you don't treat from EC8A with the sanctity that he deserves, what you will get is a mad election. That's exactly what has happened. So when we talk in terms of unbundling INEC, I think it's not just a matter of unbundling INEC. We need to go deeper than that. We need to revisit Wise report. When President Umaru Yar'Adua was sworn in, he was the beneficiary of that mad presidential election. And he repeated it. I said that even though he emerged the winner in that process, that it was too tainted, and therefore promised a very comprehensive reform. He set up a committee headed by retired Justice Mohammed Wise, and they came up with complete process through which we can have an independent National Electoral Commission.
Where's that report today? Where's that report today, sir? I'm sorry to talk over you.
What is report?
Where's the report, and what have you done with it?
The report, unfortunately, took ill and died before he could implement it. He was barely effective in office for 1 year. Good luck, Jonathan, that the inherited report did nothing. All Jonathan did was to claim that he appointed Jega, somebody he didn't know. It's not what the Wise report asked him to do. Wise report told him that it's law, not leaving it as a personal sacrifice. Now that he decided, he appointed somebody he didn't know in the person of Attahiru Jega. But Buhari that succeeded Jonathan appointed who he knew. But if he had put it into law, Buhari would have been constrained. Buhari wouldn't have been able to appoint Professor Mahmoud Yakubu. That's it. That's what the Wise report was saying must be avoided. You vest it in another body, maybe the National Judicial Institute. Something. There must be a kind of a freer body. It's not just an individual.
So where is that? Where's that free body? I'm so sorry yet again to speak over you. Many people have the National Assembly. Now you're talking about the Judicial Council or something.
For me, it should not be the National Assembly.
Why?
National Assembly is made up of very active politicians who have very vested interest. That is why I talked about National Judicial Institute, and that was actually what the Wise report recommended. You make it an open thing. Those who are interested will apply. Nigerians will help in vetting the process. Nigerians, those who apply, it will be an open thing. If you think you are qualified, you are fine. And there will be a short list. And at the end of the day, about 3 names will be recommended to the National Assembly, out of which they will pick one. But National Assembly will not be privy to generating the names. That is what Wise Report wanted done. And of course, if we have been able to do that, you will remove what journalists call a Piper syndrome. Let me tell you, we are all human beings. Even if the president would want a free and fair election like Jonathan wanted, the body language of the president can be read by the INEC chairman that he appointed. That's the truth. You see, I say this because I was part of the civil organizations that worked on the electoral reforms that yielded up the Electoral Act 2022 that tried to bring the electronic component into our voting process. Professor Mahmoud Yakub was very active in that process. There was no doubt that he wanted a free and fair election. But somewhere along the line, he changed. Let me give you an example. There is this provision in the Electoral Act, Section 64, subsection 4, that says that returning or collecting officer shall declare results subject to the results uploaded, confirmation and verification of the results uploaded directly for the polling units. You can cross-check this, what I just quoted. Now, the contemplation of that provision is to make a results uploaded from the polling unit condition present to manual collation. That means you cannot collect the physical results unless you have already uploaded the results from the polling units. The reason for this is to cut off what happens between the polling units and collection centers, where it gets altered. If you go to the IREV, you will see results that are clearly altered. You see the results there. And of course, they are useless in the eye of the law, because according to the Presidential Election Petition Court, they told us that the section I just mentioned was not made mandatory. So if you make such, if you remove the power to appoint INEC officials from the president and make a transmission of results mandatory and make the issue of dispensation of all electoral matters before swearing in, these 3 measures, once you do that, you will guarantee free and fair election by more than 80%. As we are now, you can never have free and fair election in Nigeria. It's impossible. Because INEC is not independent. INEC is working for government. That is the tragedy. That is what we have seen on the unravel in these general elections, especially, in fact, even off-season elections were worse than the general elections. They were worse. What happened in Imo? What happened in Kogi? Even in Bayelsa. You understand that? Now, you have very clear provisions that INEC would interpret to suit them. Example is what I have said, what I just mentioned, section 64, subsection 4, that you announce results subject to confirmation of results uploaded from the polling units. That means there will be electronically transmitted results, and then the physical one. You look at the two, I'm sure that they are the same. Not only that, subsection 5 to 7 also talks about what the returning officer must do if there is a case of overvoting. Who will tell you that there is overvoting? Beavers. INEC has also bypassed beavers. Do you know that beavers that ought to be mandatorily deployed during elections for authentication of voters was abandoned in many places in Imo, in Kogi, in Bayelsa, and yet INEC announced results in those areas. So you can see that INEC is not really committed to free and fair election. People can say whatever they care, but the fact, the taste of the protein is in the eating, like the white man would say.
Okay, I'm just curious, when you say they're not committed, because I'm guessing that every one of those people, including the chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, have all taken oaths, and that I'm not quoting it directly, but one of which would be, or the main one, which would be to properly dispense, or rather conduct free, fair, and credible elections following the laws that govern the electoral process, meaning they would follow it to the latter. But you're telling me on national radio that these people are committed to
I'll
having
tell you.
free and fair, credible
I
elections.
can prove it
Could
to
it
you.
be that the Electoral Act as amended of 2022 does not necessarily have the powers to, or it's not binding in any way? I have just 30 seconds. I'd like for you to answer.
Yeah, it's not binding. That's what the Presidential Election Petition Court said, that the INEC is at liberty to apply the Electoral Act as they wanted. That's the tragedy of the outcome. And meanwhile, Nigeria spent 105 billion to put in place the digital infrastructure to enable INEC to transmit results.
Well,
they abandoned it.
We're going to come back after this break. I have a very short break. Dr. Law Mefor is here with us, and we're talking about unbundling INEC. When we come back, we're going to be talking about, voting rights, inclusion of political parties, primaries and litigation, security, and other issues which are necessary for, electoral integrity. When we come back after this break, stay with us. The program is still Hard Facts, 99.3 Nigeria Info. We'll be back.
Star 347 star 880 star 3 hash. Star 347 star 880 star 3 hash. Star 347 star 880 star 3 hash. Lagos, this is the one playing code that can save you from Sakpa. Because at this point, I am sure that you don't need a reminder that Sakpa is in town. And right now, Sakpa be doing most. So if you want to stay Sakpa-proof, memorize this code. Because with all the stress in Lagos and in Nigeria right now, any extra money is a blessing. And this is why one day has been enriching lives every day, and it's about to get bigger. So imagine winning double what you're winning before. Nice, right? It's double season with 1.ng. When you play with 5 naira, you win double. FM daily winnings will now go up from 60,000 daily to 120,000 daily. All you have to do to win yourself some money and join the win is just go to oneplay.ng, choose your station, Nigeria Though, and play with 500 naira. And in a few seconds, your ticket is a draw. Or just dial star 37 star 880 star 3 hash. And that's the magic code. Don't forget, the more you play, the better your chance of winning in the double draw every day on WhatsApp Lagos and Game On shows every weekdays. And on the Football Friendly show on weekends. But that's not all. Every Friday, there will be a jackpot. Somebody says plenty. Remember to play responsibly, Lagos. Remember the code star 347 880 star 3 hash. Better put in your right hand though. One Play is a registered trademark under Lasho Trading Services Limited, licensed by the Lagos State Treat and Gaming Commission.
This is an infomercial.
99 Nigeria Info. We'll be right back.
It's the last day of playoffs of Nigeria Info. I beg to differ student debate. It promises heat and prize. What is the surprise, you ask? Well, Lagos, a wild card. 4 o'clock, Daniela Ogaga faces Gamune Omotine Lilian to debate the topic. Learning an indigenous language should be mandatory in secondary schools. At 5 o'clock, turning after losing to Uzawani Emmanuel on the topic, malaria has had more devastating effects on the world than COVID-19, is Naomi Richard. She will face Chimamanda Anyanwu on the topic, gambling and betting should be illegal. I am Yvonne Okaifo. Join Femi Obong Daniels and me as we moderate the tournament. Nigeria Info's I Bet to Differ Students Debate Season 6. 32 debaters, 1 winner, 1 million naira. Supported by Obiwiz and Booker Hut. For sponsorship and inquiries, please call 070-3498-4352 or shoot an email to info@nigeriainfo.fm.
It's that time of the year again. Kids Sport Charity Cup Season 13. This year, we are going to hosting 6 orphanages, 6 schools, 4 grassroots football academies, and 2 organizations. Do a day of fierce sporting fun. Last year, SOS Children won the gold for the orphanages. FC Blaze won the gold in the football academy category, and Kingmakers narrowly beat Kuwazobia team at the novelty match. This year, the teams will be competing in football, basketball, esports, tennis, chess, and much more. In frustrating situations like her? Well, more. Introducing the Sea Home app. With just a few taps on your phone, you can now order Seaway water without stepping foot outside your home.
Well, that sounds incredible. I am download Seaway Home app right away.
Seaway Home app. Experience comfort. Available on Apple Store, Google Play Store, and web app.
Nigeria, grassroots football is about to get even bigger and better as the 5th edition of Cohesion Football Tournament is set to take center stage. 26 male 13 and 10 under 16 female teams from different local governments in Lagos, Okon State compete to become the champion of Cohesion Football Tournament. Celebrate the festive season and paint a grassroots tournament that makes all the difference and encourages kids to go to school while following their passion. Prizes and gifts to be won, including scholarships. Date 19th and 20th December 2023. Venue Union Table, Bode Thomas, Surulere, Lagos. Supported by Premier Cool, Nestle, Deals Delight, Firewood Rice Nigeria, Gamer Africa, Maltina, Wessa Limited, and Pocari Sweat. Media partners Nigeria Info, Lori Supergirl. For inquiries, sponsorship and registration, please contact 088-266-5716. Cohesion Football Tournament. The youth, the stars, the future.
Get ready for the most international spelling competition of the year. The 15th edition of the Spelling Leaders Competition into your neighborhood. Schools in Lagos, Abuja, and Ogun State. Mark your calendars. The competition kicks off on February 2020 and you won't want to miss it. Preparation is key. Register and get what list to start preparing your school competition. Do you have what it takes from a spelling champion? This is your chance to shine. Hurry and register your school today. To register your school and secure your vote, call or WhatsApp 097-002-751 or 0813-624789. Miss out on the opportunity to show your prowess and win amazing prizes. It's a spell party that parents will remember forever.
Brought to you by Africa International, where champions born.
It's the last day of playoffs of Nigeria Info's to differ student debate. Promises heat and surprise. What is the surprise, you ask? Well, Lagos wild card. At 4 o'clock, Kla Ogaga faces Odamune Omune Lillian to debate the topic. Learn indigenous language should be mandatory secondary schools. At 5 o'clock, turning after losing to Uzawan Manuel on the topic, malaria has more devastating effects on the world than COVID-19 is Naomi Rick. She will face Chimamanda. I am on the topic. Gambling and betting should be illegal. I am Yvonne Ohaito. Join Femi Obos and me as we moderate the tournament. Nigeria knows I beg to differ student debate season 6. 32 debaters, 1 winner, 1 million naira. Supported by OED and Hut. For sponsorship and inquiries, please call 070-3498-4352 or shoot an email to info@nigeriainfo.m.
99.3 Nigeria.
Your number one station for Let's Talk.
Millions lists trust us on hashtag. Whether it's politics, social issues, controversy, and trending stories. No, credible and objective.
It's hot with Maryann on 9.3 Nigeria Info.
Yes, it's still hot. 99.3 Nigeria Info. That question. We're broadcasting live on from our audiovisual studios. I beg your pardon, right here in Italy and Crescent, Victoria Island, Lagos. And my name is Maryann. Still have my guest joining me via Zoom, Dr. Law Mefor. And for those of you who've been listening, the conversation is about unbundling INEC. A lot of people have been saying, scrap INEC, reform INEC, this and that. But you see, I also consider part of the electoral reform to be, reforming INEC, unbundling. Well, this wasn't my idea. This was a cause that was pushed by a former INEC chairman, Professor Attahiru Jega, who has said that INEC needs to be reformed. It needs to be unbundled. And Dr. Law Mefor has been talking about a lot of things. One of the things that has stuck in my mind when he said that these people are not committed to delivering free, fair and cool elections. And I'm wondering, why would I want to be a teacher if I'm not committed to teaching? But for those of you who don't know, my guest is a public policy expert, a media and strategic communication consultant. He's a forensic and social psychologist, and he's also an author. Now, Dr. Mefor, before we went on break, when we come back, we're going to be looking at voting rights. We're going to be talking about inclusion, political parties, primaries, party financing. These are all of the things that are supposed to be overseen by INEC. The issues of litigation, which we're still talking about today, security and public enlightenment, which, like I said earlier on, is very important, necessary for electoral integrity. And these things that I've just mentioned are not necessarily new to you and I, or those of us who've, part of the political process, or walked around it one way or another. Let's talk about, most importantly, the issue of primaries and party financing. I remember, if not 10 years ago, Serap had taken all the political parties, especially the big ones, to court, asking that they make their party finances public. Up until today, that case is still in court. Political parties have refused to make their finances public. This is supposed to be under the purview of INEC. The issue of litigation is not necessarily INEC's job, but they're always joined as party in those suits. How well can we deal with that issue if, like you have said, what itself starts from the head, which is the man who puts them there?
Yeah, you see, first and foremost, the structure to ensure proper democracy is not just in Nigeria. And that is why the electoral process lacks integrity in all its entirety, from appointment of INEC officials, principal officials, INEC chairman, to the electoral commissioners, and so on and so on. Everything is simply not right. And it is only getting worse by the day, to the point that the recently appointed either 7 or 9 president electoral commissioners, the majority of them are members of the ruling APC. An example is the resident electoral commissioner appointed for Akwa Ibom. He was the chief of staff to the Senate president, who was governor. You don't even need any law. You need any law to tell you that card-carrying members of political parties cannot be umpires. It's not done anywhere in the world. There's no need for laws. People ought to understand that those who are members of political parties will never be fair in their dealings with other political parties. We are human beings. They will tend towards favoring their political parties. Do you really want me to believe that the president electoral commission appointed for Akwa Ibom will be in an election where his former boss and president will be contesting or is interested in? It's not possible. Now, that brings in the issue of party system. I keep saying it, we don't have a political party system in place. In fact, a democracy is predicated on what we call opposed opposition. With opposition, you can't have a democracy. I want opposition in Nigeria.
Well, we do. We have an opposition.
Let me tell you.
Maybe the word is lost, but we do have opposition, whether we like it or not.
I made a search. Let me prove. Whether search was to prove. You see, if you have opposition to parties, their job is to oppose wrong policies and wrong laws, oppose alternatives. That's the more job of the opposition. It's not happened. It's on the floors of the National Assembly. At least in this 10%, hasn't happened. We were there when card-carrying members of political parties, of the ruling political party APC, were cleared. What did they do? There's something. There's something out there. They were there when each lawmaker collected 160 million naira valued SUV. They collected it, including members of the Labour Party who are running on the mantra of Nigeria from consumption to production, reducing the cost of running business and all that. There's nothing. I know that all the legislators that came in under Labour came in based on what was good for. So how have they justified that? By understanding what the ruling party brings for them. So you don't have a position. What I said is very important. And you have a proper opposition in place. You can't get our democracy going. And the last time opposition was played in Nigeria was in 2014. When the APC emerged. And APC emerged from an amalgam of 5 political legacy political parties. That of Buhari, the CM, the APP, the faction of Abga, the new PDP, that is 5. And they found the downward opposition bloc called UDC and gave the PP a run for them. And they were able to restore power. They were able to restore power. Is that what you have now? You don't have that. Okay. So, and you say opposition came together in 2014, and within 2 years, they were solidly on ground to take power at federal level. The PDP, on the other hand, in 2023, splintered into 3 factions. The bigger faction, the OB faction, and the Atiku faction. Is that how opposition goes into a presidential test?
Doctor, because
You know, so-
because don't have more time. I'm going to be listening to this machine, but we wrap things up. So I'm going to open up the phone line because we're live at facebook.com/Nigeria Info FM. We're also live on YouTube, Nigeria Info at 9.3. In the conversation, our website on Nigeria Info FM. You're listening to us from outside of the country. You want to join the conversation? Call us on Nigeria Info FM. The phone lines are open 700. I think the line is still down. So call on 465-7192. The phone line is lighting up immediately. You can also conversation by WhatsApp 0809-575-805. I'll take it slowly. 0809-597505. Should INEC be unbundled? If it be unbundled, what if it make? Looking at judiciary, assembly, we Nigerians and the supporters, all of the things that are bad, ugly, and despicable, if there be any word that's worst, can we, as a people, stand to make sure that the unbundling of INEC will not worse, but for the better? I'd like to hear from you, Lagos. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon. Turn off your radio, please.
Yeah, you have man on the line. I'm from Spain.
I know. I'm going to tell you one more time. Turn off your radio.
Yeah, it's off. Can you hear me now?
Go ahead, 6 seconds.
Yeah, I think what would be necessary in all these consequences for action. Because we don't have different consequences of the action of which people will actually, and then they will be uploaded to IRF. Everybody knows that this is fraud. Have consequences for action. If you like, even does not, appoint the INEC chairman. If they are still going to Google, bond of which the is going to add it. So I think the consequences for action are necessary. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. We have Chris for calling us from Ikoyi. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Chris. Go ahead, please.
Good afternoon to the dog.
Yeah.
Like you see what you about doing quite on day. How do you see allow any other party to win an election? What happened in Kano? I think one person died yesterday, right? Hello?
Yeah, listening.
So you think they are not playing the game according to the rule? That's the thing. And the part of them. You see this politics, how they stop with play in Nigeria, he will not take us anywhere. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Christopher, for calling. Hello, welcome to Hardback. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good afternoon. Hello.
I can hear you. You have 60 seconds.
Good afternoon. Well, unbundling or whatever next. See, a lot of people come in and they make the main point. We need to remove money fix in Nigeria. If we don't do it, people kill. Bribe the INEC.
Can you be specific about removing money? Because what do they call them? They sell what do they call them? Forms.
No, about
so
forms.
be specific. Which removing are you talking about?
How they are getting whatever votes not supposed to be given. Because I remember how it happened when I was there. Remember what you were doing. That was a consistency project. The government is starting, and we will see state by state what that acts. It is not corruption. If we do out, they will know that we are to get to this one. And then, bring credible people to vote for a post.
Thank you very much for calling. I'm letting you go, not because you did not make him, but because of time. Benjamin is calling us right now. Hello, Benjamin. Where are you calling us from?
Good afternoon. I'm from Jibo.
Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
I think your guest has said it all. We don't have an opposition party in Nigeria yet. Until we do, a lot of things will change it. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Benjamin, for making a point and go straight to it. Hello, Alex.
Hello, good afternoon, Maryann.
Good name, sir. Where are you calling from?
This is Good.
Go ahead.
The guest a question. Can't we do election for the INEC president instead of the president visiting what is it called? Being president for us. That should be better.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you very much. Dr. Mefor, this is a very interesting point. For the district attorney, he goes for an elected pick. You know how for every district attorney goes to the polls voted like any other election, any other politician. It can't be done for an INEC because that's what the last caller posing.
For me, an option that we have to really consider. I talked about people really applying, and then the Nigerians can vote for whoever has a number out will become the next chairman. It may be novel. I think it's doable and it's really good because you need somebody who enjoys the confidence of people and who does not have a bias, one who is known to be free, independent-minded. We know men like understand that, and they're also not partisan. They are around, there are not many. So if you apply and the committee is put in place, we can have a short list, one way or another. We know who is qualified.
Okay.
And who is not qualified also can be thrown out by the people who flock up petitions. Same with person is not qualified. And at the end of the day, NJC we do a short list of pray and state to national state to people. That is what it should be.
Let's take a few more calls. I'll take one more call and read messages. Hello, Max. Hello?
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yes. Calling from
go ahead, please.
Yes. I thank you. Yes. Talking very well. But the question is, what ordinary the who have been corrupted or anything themselves, doing what they like, what has been done method to them. Do we just see them go just like that? And they continue. All 4 years, the same thing. New stories will come out, but this family to vote. Yet I end up getting answer of it. What is wrong with it? We change the system, for God's sake.
Well, thank you. Very, very important question there. Hello. Welcome.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Go ahead, please.
The problem is not about the opposition. It's about the ruling party that does allow the citizens to vote. That is where the problem lies. And the money of the election unbundled states. Your getting on 2014 was no opposition there. People come to Nigeria people. But that's why you don't spend money to protect Buhari's vote. The Nigeria people did. They get someone that get the whole title to until the INEC body comes in. That is when we get.
All right. Doctor, I'm coming back to you to ask a question. The gentleman was talking about your person to work with an INEC. Because I remember a conversation I had here about the elections, cycle elections, and someone kept saying to me, well, Professor Mahmood can't do anything. He can't be everywhere. He has people who have been saddled with the responsibility of their free, fair, and credible elections. He sabotages elections. He really does anything. Is that really true?
It's not true. It's not true. The chief, the independent national electoral is the executive of that commission. And the work stops. And step up. Since 1999, how many elected offenders have gone to jail? You know, maybe many people may not know. INEC has prosecute offenders. They can to court. These are 2020 general elections. INEC released saying that 170 electoral offenders will be charged. That was an election ahead in February. Not one person has gone. Do you understand that? Oh,
they have prosecuted, but just I have just 1 minute, Doctor. The Adamawa State rec, if I'm mistaken, was charged to court as we speak. Although the report that we have is he's disappeared, I think, Niger, and he's, you know.
I heard that. They have actually put them out of 1,006.
The fact that at least one has been prosecuted.
Political. We want to see all these people in jail with exception. If you have that in, let me tell you, if somebody obtained a manipulated result, it's election cycle, and he goes to jail. If you are appointed an electoral officer, you want to assure you.
So we have 30 seconds to go, and I want to think, unfortunately, we should continue having this conversation into the net, but we can't. Dr. Mefor, yes, Mefor, the public policy expert, a media and strategic communication consultant. He's a forensic and social psychologist, and he's also an author. Thank you so much, Doctor.
Thank you.
Time to have this conversation. Very much. All right, using a few seconds to read some messages on WhatsApp because I want to show that your voices are heard. Someone says, please, obviously this message is not for me. 40 seconds, so I'm going to read some messages quickly. This, if we vote for INEC chairman, who will count the votes? I'll be for that. Send us that message. And this says, good afternoon. I totally agree with your guests. We will need action to INEC not to upload the transmitted and presidential election. We should fool ourselves. Jackson from Apapa. And this one says, I guess completely. INEC
is the last chaos of Nigeria equals a better defense debate. Promises heat and what is the price you ask? Well, it's about 4 o'clock. Daniela Oga face Oga billion to debate the topic.
At Major FM, check us out on Facebook at 99.3. Follow us on Twitter